What is up, everybody? It's your girl Nia, TheVideoGamHer, and I'm coming to you guys with another video. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch presentation today, which we now know is going to air on January the 12th at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And for those of you guys who live in Central Time like myself, that is 10 p.m. Central Time. If you are Eastern Time, that is 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So obviously there's a lot of people out there that are really excited for the Nintendo Switch, and I really can't say that I'm excited, but I am anticipating what we're going to be finding out about the Nintendo Switch, because obviously ever since that 3-minute reveal trailer, we don't really know anything. Everything has simply been speculation about either some rumors from Laura Kate Dell and other journalists like Emily Rogers, or there's been some speculative things from interviews from developers, but you know, of course, they don't really say what is what. They kind of dance around the issues and things like that. So we don't really know anything that is concrete as of now. That will all be alleviated in about a month from now. And that's honestly the exciting part, not really so much the Switch itself, because like I just mentioned, we really don't know anything about this thing. That leaves me to want to talk about what I want to see, what I think that Nintendo needs to talk about to quell some of the unsureness that a lot of people might be feeling, especially a lot of people like me who have been, I guess in a way, burned by the Wii U, and a lot of the things that the Wii U didn't have, and a lot of the things that the Wii U lacked, and a lot of the missed potential of the Wii U. I mean, I guess if that's even fair to say. I just want to kind of go off the bat, just so it doesn't seem like I'm just crapping on Nintendo's situation right now, because I mean, this has been a very exciting time for Nintendo, a very exciting week, especially with all of the talk about Super Nintendo World, and then my video that I put up the other day about Nintendo's current marketing strategy, which has been absolutely genius in my opinion. And of course, you know, what we know with the Nintendo Switch right now is that the Nintendo Switch is doing what Nintendo does best, right? You know, it's an on-the-go system, which has pretty much been Nintendo's bread and butter, while their console side has been faltering, and it has been a way to keep console gaming fresh. I know a lot of people were excited about the PlayStation Pro and the the Xbox Scorpio, but the Nintendo Switch is something completely different from those two, and that's kind of a part of the anticipation itself, right? And again, with the whole on-the-go thing, the hybrid idea is just Nintendo in a nutshell, because for some reason, Nintendo has always operated best for these last couple of generations with a concept like the Switch, where it's kind of like you could take it on the go, it's portable. For some reason, Nintendo's attention span pretty much caters to that part of gaming, and of course the fact that Nvidia is behind this thing all the way, it really makes me feel confident that the Nintendo Switch is going to be modern, it's going to be future-proof in some respects, and it's going to be forward-thinking in some respects, and that makes me excited. But of course, at the end of the day, it all comes down to Nintendo. And when I say this, I do not take it lightly, you guys. This Nintendo Switch presentation has to be damn near infallible, you guys. Like, this presentation has to be damn near perfect, and I am expecting almost perfection, because Nintendo has so many questions to answer, they have so many mixed feelings to quell, they've got a lot of things that they need to show and prove. I mean, they're doing the good thing now by getting that marketing out there, getting that messaging out there, but with this presentation, they gotta pull the trigger, and they have to do so with as much vigor as they've been doing everything else with their marketing. I mean, like, they have to be on point. And one of the things that I really think that they need to do, first off, is they have to dispel any concerns about the graphical fidelity of this system. In my opinion, I think that the Nintendo Switch needs to be at least on par with the base Xbox One. Because if it's at least on par with the base Xbox One, this means that we'll at least get some multi-platform third-party games. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with GameCube level third-party support where they might not get all of it, but they get the ones that count. Because this is going to be a huge thing for Nintendo. They can't have any more video game droughts. They just cannot afford it. Like, the Wii U was pretty much backed up against the wall because after third parties completely abandoned them, they have to support it on their own, and that was not successful for them. There can't be any more 4 to 6 month video game droughts. There can't be any more of that. And Nintendo has to make sure that if these third-party people are saying they're gonna put games on this system, they have to make sure these people show up. No more excuses. Nintendo doesn't need to give these people any more reasons to leave them. They have to be on point on that front. Secondly, they need to make sure that the Switch has good online features, right? We know that DNA is working on their account and their cloud-based services, and I think they might be doing some things that relate to the UI and the interfacing of the system. They need to make sure that this UI and interfacing is user-friendly and that it is the best possible method and means for online games. With the Wii U, that was one of the biggest complaints that I had. Like, I am very much a fan of most of Nintendo's IPs, and I'm content for the most part with Nintendo's own IPs, but I didn't like navigating the Wii U itself. Like, trying to play Mario Kart with friends, trying to play Super Smash Brothers with friends, trying to play Splatoon with friends was such a pain. Like, you couldn't match up in a party. There was no party chat. You know, sometimes the servers were really finicky on Splatoon where you would get disconnected all of the time. Trying to send your friends a message to tell them, hey, come into this game with me. I mean, it was just so cumbersome, and they have to address this. They need to make sure that we know and they detail what exactly DNA is doing. If they're doing cloud gaming, does that mean that we get to keep our saves? So say if my Switch breaks down, do I get to keep all of my games on one account? Do I get to transfer my saves to some type of cloud service like what PlayStation lets you do if you have the cloud service on your PlayStation Plus account, right? Like, do they have that? Most importantly, will Nintendo allow Nvidia to share their Shadow Play service on the system? Will we be able to stream to YouTube and Twitch? Will we be able to record videos on this thing? Will we be able to take high definition screenshots? I mean, you could do that on the Wii U, but the only problem with that was that the Wii U didn't have a gallery. You have to save your pictures to either some type of third-party program like Flickr or something on the Wii U browser, which worked, but if the Wii U had its own gallery, that would make saving images a lot faster on the Wii U. You know, these are the things that I need to know. What is the memory situation going to be like on the Switch? Is memory going to be an issue again like it was on the Wii U? The Wii U only had 32 gigabytes of internal memory. And if you are a person who purchases a lot of digital games, that is definitely not enough. And even if they choose to have only a short amount of storage, onboard storage, what are they going to do about external storage? Can you use a micro SD? Can you use an SD? Can you use external hard drive? You know what I mean? Like, these are the questions that need to be answered. They need to make sure that everybody has an option to play on this thing comfortably. You know what I mean? And speaking of memory, what we also need to know is, how big is Nintendo going to allow these game cartridges? There was that rumor that said that game cartridges were going to be, I guess, on average 16 gigs. Are they going to allow these game developers to add more memory on these cards? For example, if there's a game that's 40 gigs, are they going to allow these companies to purchase 40 gig cards for this system? You know what I mean? And then these days, a lot of these games, they need to install some kind of updates that helps the game perform better and upload texture packs and things like that. And if we're going to be using cartridges, that gives us the impression that there won't be any install times. But just in case we need to install something and the Nintendo Switch only has, like, let's just say 32 gigabytes of memory, are we gonna be able to upload those installs to these cartridges? I mean, like, that's something that we need to know because a lot of the games that didn't come to the Wii U didn't come to the Wii U not because of the power per se, but the fact that the Wii U itself didn't have the memory to sustain these games. And hopefully that's not a problem again on the Switch. Another thing, and probably the biggest thing about all of this, what is Nintendo's library gonna be like? We already know that there's a lot of ports of games rumored for the system, and that's great. I'm okay with ports because a lot of people didn't buy the Wii U, and the Wii U wasn't exactly a desirable system with online features and things like that. So if Nintendo wants to port a game like Splatoon, and if the Switch has like a party system, that's gonna make Splatoon a much more enjoyable experience for a lot of people, myself included. So that's okay with me, especially if they have enhanced ports. But are there gonna be any new games? You know what I mean? Like, we know that there's a couple of studios that have been making Nintendo games in secret. Are we gonna hear about those in January? And when we do hear about these games, will they be diverse? I don't want to see Mario and then Donkey Kong and then Kirby. And while I love all of those games, they're all platformers. What type of games are we going to see? What type of genres are they going to showcase to show us this variety, this diversity of games? You know what I mean? Like, a couple of games that we already know are coming, or at least rumored to be coming, is that we know Pikmin is coming. We know Zelda Breath of the Wild is coming. We know that a 3D Mario is coming. But what else is coming? You know what I mean? Like, what is Retro working on? What is Monolith Soft's new game? What is Next Level working on? Is there gonna be a Pokemon on the system at some point? Is that Mario Rabbids RPG coming? You know what I mean? Like, we need to know what this library is gonna be composed of, because if it's more of the same, it's only going to appeal to people like me, diehard Nintendo fans. It's not going to appeal to everybody. And that also kind of goes in hand in hand with what is third party bringing to the table, because if Nintendo only has their type of games, that's fine, but what else is going to be there for people who aren't into traditional Nintendo games like Mario, like Pikmin, like Kirby, etc., right? All in all, I can say that I'm excited to know what Nintendo's going to tell us and what they're going to show. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm keeping my expectations of Nintendo high because they need to be high, because Nintendo has a lot to prove right now. They've been making a lot of good moves and a lot of good steps here lately. I mean, I'm loving everything that I'm hearing about, you know, what they're doing with Universal Studios. I'm loving this marketing campaign. I'm loving these rumors that I'm hearing. But at the end of the day, in real life, Nintendo has a lot to prove, and they have to pull the trigger on each one of these, in my opinion. But tell me what you think about my opinions down in the comments below. Do you think I'm being too harsh? Do you agree with me? Let's have a conversation about this, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace.